up and forsaken. Oh man, he's a jokester. He's like that guy. There's no way to really outdo that man, but he's always putting a smile on my face.
Yeah, I like the dynamic of that. They're just looking forward to playing with big guys.
Do mousepads make that big of a difference? Mousepads are something that the average person doesn't even think about. But at the same time, there's enthusiasts. But before we get that far, let's delve into the history of mousepads and how we went from this to this. The computer mouse has been around for almost half a century, dating back as early as 1963 by World War II veteran Douglas C. Engelbart and his partner William English. Douglas and William created a wooden prototype with a single button and a wire at the bottom for where they coined the name mouse because of the tail at the end. The mouse, first demonstrated by Douglas Engelbart in 1968 at the Mother of All Demos in San Francisco, blew people's minds away when he showed that human interaction was possible with the machine. But Engelbart had an issue: where to place the mouse and on what surface it had to be on for optimal movement. Luckily, he had Jack Kelly of Herman Miller, yes, the Herman Miller design firm, famous for the Eames chair, to design and conceptualize for mass use. With Douglas inventing the world's first mouse and Jack inventing the world's first mousepad, they both brought forth peripherals that are commonplace today, but aren't always fully appreciated. Mousepads were considered to be a mere afterthought. It really started to make headlines and traction 20 years later when Apple came out with the Macintosh. From then on, they were one of the newest fads and crazes of the early 80s, due to growing accessibility of personal computers, especially from Apple. This caused Bob McDermott, founder of Mousetrack, to mass-produce mousepads featuring the Apple logo to meet demand, and then becoming such a hit that they began doing licensing deals with companies such as Disney, Lucasfilms, and even Paramount. At this point in time, these mouse coasters were commonly given as souvenir gifts from companies. Where, funnily enough, a quick fact, John McCain offered a mousepad as souvenirs for those who made at least a $75 contribution to his 2008 run for presidency. With almost any and every design you can imagine, custom label makers and gimmicky notepads. I mean, just take a look here at one of the retro commercials we found.
When I got my Casio mousepad label printer, I finally got my two worlds in perfect harmony.
So it's the 90s, and households are seeing more computers on a broader scale than before. From Mousetrack becoming the first manufacturer of mousepads, then sadly failing to sell their quality products due to cheaper competition. In this era, they had them being manufactured for cheap and sold for cheap. Why even think about it if it serves its duty, right? Besides, it's just a mousepad. Hold up, let's stop right there. Maybe it's time for us to change the way we think about these rubber coasters and think back to when Jack Kelly first thought about the mousepad. You have to understand computers and the people who depend on them to design for today's offices. I won't tolerate anything that doesn't work on a sailboat, so why would I tolerate anything that doesn't work in the office? Maybe it's time for us to start thinking more about the quality, the use case, and why you pick one that can last. Especially with today's environmental landscape. Picking something that's buy it for life versus short term, you can help reduce your carbon footprint. Which then brings us to all the mousepads you can choose from today, that for the most part come in a variety of styles and sizes that each have a specific use. For example, large gaming mousepads that encompass the entire setup like this one here, that not only give an aesthetic charm, but a practical one. Whereas gamers who aim with their arm rather than their wrist have the extra desk space to adjust the DPI to maintain agility and precision in gaming. On the other hand, there are smaller mousepads for those who don't have access to larger spaces. Then we reach the luxury and specialty ones made by Artisan and even glass mousepads that probably need their own video separately. And finally, these things.
Hey guys, I'm actually editing this in post and I actually want to show you something dope. We actually have the Corgi mousepad on hand. So if you want to see it, you have it here. Yes. Just as intended.
Yeah. which, all jokes aside, can be seen as an essential item for those who have wrist pain and spend long hours at a computer and already have pre-existing issues. Mousepads have seen a bit of a resurgence as of late, especially when comparing to what the landscape was like less than 20 years ago. But thanks to the growing gamer and PC community, quality and specialty made mats from some of your favorite brands are commonplace. Let's take SteelSeries for example. In 2001, SteelSeries created the very first glass mousepad called the Iceman, which removed the need to constantly be cleaning both the mouse and the pad of any and every Dorito crumb you may have accidentally left behind. But as mice began to change, the move towards silicone, cloth, and rubber hybrids became more commonplace for brands such as Logitech, and even ROG Scabbard, where the newest edition is resistant to oil, water, and dust for all you keyboard munchers out there. So that brings us back to our early question in the video. Do mousepads make you better at gaming? Well, the answer is subjective. For most professional gamers, they'll swear by brands like Logitech, Zowie, SteelSeries, and 1-0, which we luckily have with us today, that has a wide variety of designs and colors, offering a premium feel and stretch that can ensure longevity.
Hi, Jamian here. These 1-0 desk pads we have with us today come in a variety of colorful and minimal designs with different color options for each design to match almost any desk setup. My personal favorite is this lunar design from the Anomalies series with a nice, clean sort of space aesthetic with nice geometric designs and shapes on it. All of these models we have with us today come in the same size at nice 900 by 400 millimeters. The perfect size in my opinion for whatever setup, whether it's keyboard and mouse, keyboard and notepad, laptop and mouse, just to keep a nice clean work area while still adding a little bit of a nice design to it. While I am a big fan of the design and prints on these mouse pads, they definitely don't skip out on the fundamentals. With a nice stitch edged all around the frame to reduce fraying over time, a nice textured rubber base to avoid slipping to maintain accuracy when gaming or whatnot. These mouse pads are very, very well built. A nice thing as well, they have nice stretch in both directions to assure consistency when gliding a lot. And most importantly, a nice, smooth, tightly and evenly stitched surface for a well-balanced glide for both gaming and everyday work. Now back to Myron for the rest of the video.
Mousepads have evolved and adapted to be more precise, dust resistant, and offer additional support. As they continue to evolve with the use of more premium manufacturing methods and material, we'll probably see an increase in the stability and durability of mousepads in general. So finally, mousepads don't make you better per se, and you probably won't be the next Shroud or It's Timmy right off the bat. But they can give you a marginal competitive edge when considering the skill you have and the peripherals you have at hand. Thank you for watching this video about the history of mousepads. We really enjoyed doing a little explainer video for you all. Let us know if you liked it at home. Leave a comment, like always, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell notification so you don't miss out on another video. Till next time. This to this